Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I appreciate everybody who watched my last video about childhood bullying. I got a great response, so thank you guys. Today's topic is a little harder for me to talk about, but I feel like it is so important that we address this one. It's kind of the time frame. I'm kind of going by different experiences that have happened in my life and when they've happened. So this next topic is eating disorders. Taboo, right? Nobody ever talks about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. An little intro to myself and why this is a harder, more important topic for me to talk about is, gosh, you know, when I was 12, I topped the scales at like 230, 240. I remember going for my Easter outfit with my mom, and we had to go to Dress Barn and we had to go to the plus size section. And I had to get a size women's 22 plus size dress as my Easter dress at 12. At 12. Okay, guys, like for real. That was kind of the tipping point for my mom and I to decide that we needed to start losing weight. As the years went on, unfortunately I took it to a unhealthy route. Now, again, guys, bear with me. This is a slightly harder topic for me, so I kind of had to make some notes so we could stay on topic. So guys, my journey with my eating disorder started when I was anywhere between 14 to 16 years old. You know, when you're that age, you're really getting into your looks, you're getting into hormones that you don't know anything about, boys, or for guys, you're getting into girls, or whatever your preference is. Like, that starts at that age, okay? So here I am, I'm a young teenage girl, and I'm hearing about all of my friends, my girlfriends, my peers, going to these cute little boutiques, okay, and getting like their size 4 jeans and their extra small shirts or crop tops or whatever it is that they were wearing back then, and their cute little bikinis to go strut around at the lake and hang out. And I'm over here, okay, in my size 16 to 18 jeans, my large to extra large t-shirts. You know, half the time I wore my brother's shirts because that's what fit and what was comfortable. And I'm wearing a grandma one-piece bathing suit with shorts and a t-shirt over it. Excuse my cat. With shorts and a t-shirt over it because I was so self-conscious of my body that I could not bear the sight of me in a swimsuit or letting anyone else see me in a swimsuit. But that wasn't even half of it, guys. That's not even why all this started. I remember going to dances with my friends, same girls that were, you know, buying their clothes at the cute boutiques and looking super cute. And, I remember going to these dances and I would stress for hours over what I was going to wear. And I know that that's any girl, okay? I get it. But my stress came from nothing looks good on me. Nothing fits my body. Nothing looks right. I look fat and everything. This is the conversation I'm having with myself in the mirror at this point. Well, I'm trying to get ready to go to something that's supposed to be fun, okay? And by the time I go, I'm exhausted because I've had this mental battle with myself for the last however long while I'm trying to get ready, okay? So now we're at the dance, fast forward, and I'm with my girlfriends, these cute petite girls who are gorgeous, still are to this day, can I add, absolutely beautiful women, like just gorgeous, stunning, okay? And here come some of the boys that I'm crushing on hard, okay? Like thinking, oh my gosh, they're gonna come ask me to dance. One of them is gonna come ask me to dance. Like, this is my thought, okay? No, they pass me by. Like I don't even exist. And they ask these cute girls that are over there standing by me, again, size 2 or 4, super petite, gorgeous girls. to dance. And I'm left there alone, little Miss Wallflower. I mean, that hurt. And I didn't blame my girlfriends, and I didn't blame the guys, because I had such a horrible vision of myself. So I'd go home and cry. I'd go home, my parents would ask me how was the dance, I'd be like, oh, it's fine, la, la. I'd go straight to my room and I would just cry for hours. And it was because I felt hurt that I wasn't asked to dance, and I just assumed that it was because of my size, because I wasn't attractive enough, because I wasn't cute enough, whatever the case may be. Now, fast forward to church prom. Okay, now you guys know from my previous video that I was homeschooled for a good portion of, or from 4th grade on, I was homeschooled, okay, because of bullying. So my church held a prom every year for 16 to 18-year-olds. I don't know if they still do that or not, but I know they did back when I was, going to youth and church and everything. And I went, my first 2 years when I went with a guy friend of mine who was like an older brother. He didn't want me to go alone. Super nice guy. Shout out to Adam Hood. I hope you're okay with me using your name. But he was a super close friend of mine, and he went with me so I wouldn't have to go alone again to these dances and whatever. So here we are. I'm 18, okay, at this point. I have now been battling with this eating disorder in secret for 2 to 4 years. Nobody knew, or at least I didn't think anyone knew. Okay. I had lost weight, but not quite as much as I had hoped to lose. So I'm still struggling, obviously. Okay. Trying to get a handle on my hormones, my eating disorder, my weight, my self-image, my self-esteem or lack thereof, everything. Like, there's so much going on at that age. Okay. So, I like this boy, and he was super sweet, so nice, okay, and I thought, oh, should I ask him this prom? And after much debate, I finally got the courage up to ask this boy to prom with me, okay, and to my utmost surprise, he said yes. I was thrilled, over the moon, so excited. I could not stand it. First real date. Okay, I'm 18, and this is my first real date, and with a boy I like. Oh my gosh. And we're going to prom. I need to find a dress. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. I have got to find a dress, and I'm a nervous wreck. I am a nervous wreck about finding a dress, because what if something doesn't fit? What if I don't find anything? What if? Okay. So I found this boutique. I saved $600, mind you, $600 I'm willing to spend on the perfect prom dress because I'm going with the boy I like. I saved up. So I go to find a dress. I find this boutique, little boutique, and I really want to go to this boutique. It's, for anyone watching that doesn't know, I grew up in Branson, and so this little boutique was in Springfield. Not there anymore. And so Mom and I planned the whole day to go and look for this dress. And I said, well, I just want to try this one place. And she's like, okay, let's go. So we go into this boutique. And as soon as we walk in, I found the most perfect dress. Okay. I can't even tell you how in love with this dress I was when I saw it. So, of course, my mom, being the super supportive, most amazing person that she is, says to me, well, go tell the attendant, go tell the associate that you want to try it on, and let's try it on and see how it looks on you. And I was like, okay. She was in agreement. She loved the dress. I remember, I believe it was tulle, had a gorgeous bodice, and it was all tulle on the bottom, and it was brown and turquoise, if I remember correctly. So I go ask the attendant, and this young woman was probably about 25. Okay. Couldn't have been older than 25. She could have been younger. Perfect little size 0. Gorgeous little body. Gorgeous long brunette hair. I mean, I was already nervous to even go up to her and ask her about this dress. So I go up to her with all the courage I can muster, which is sad to say. For an 18-year-old, I should have been able to just do it without any hesitation, but it was really hard. And I go up to this woman and I ask her if I can try this dress on. She looks me up and down. First time I've ever been in a boutique, okay? First time. She looks me up and down, and I swear, with all the hate and disgust she could possibly muster up, she looks at me in the eye and says, "We don't carry anything that big here. You would be better off going to a department store." Crushed. On our way out, I went over and I told my mom what she said. And on our way out, my mom yells out, "Well, you guys just lost a $600 sale." And we walk out. And we get in the car, and I just started bawling. I finally have the opportunity and the confidence, for once in my life, to go into a boutique and to ask for a dress. And that's how I was treated. That was one of the hardest moments as a teenage girl that you could go through. To be told by somebody that you would look to as a peer, "We don't have anything that big here. You'd be better off going to a department store." So I went and I cried in my mom's arms for a solid probably 30 minutes. Maybe it wasn't that long, but it sure felt like it was that long. And I just cried and cried about how this made me feel. Worthless, degraded, fat, and ugly. And my mom wipes my tears and she says to me, "Honey, we are going to find you the perfect dress. It's 1,000,000 times prettier than that one." And my mom stuck by me all day that day. Why, I couldn't even tell you how many stores we probably went to until we found the perfect dress. And we did. We found it. I went to prom, and prom was amazing. Boy broke my heart, but I was 18. What do you expect? No, it was fine. He was different life path. So this is the part that's harder for me to talk about. Excuse me if I get emotional, which I probably will. But I remember my absolute lowest point in this journey. I was 18. It wasn't really long after prom. I don't think it was very long after prom. My eating disorder was the worst it's ever been. Now, I don't know how that correlates. I don't know if it's because of prom. I don't know if it's the after effects of being told I was too fat to buy a dress in a boutique. I really don't know. But I know that this was my lowest point, and I hit it hard. And I remember I was working a lot of hours at my job, working as hard as I could, as much as I could, as long as I could. And I was literally living on gum, coffee, energy drinks, and the only type of food I would eat in a day was maybe 1, possibly 2 crackers, like little saltine crackers. Okay. And I just kept pushing. I was just trucking along, like nothing was weird, like nothing was different. Now, mind you, like when my eating disorder started, it wasn't like full force, all in. Okay, mine was very gradual. And I think that was what made it get bad so quick, is because it was so gradual. I just didn't really pick up on it like as much as I would. Like I knew what I was doing subconsciously, but I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But anyway, that's when I was really losing a lot of weight. And the compliments were streaming in. Okay. People telling me how good I looked. People telling me man, you know, I would go to church on Sunday and people would be like, wow, Shaleign, you've really lost a lot of weight. Wow, you look fantastic. I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, it's working. Or keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing. You look amazing. So I didn't look amazing before, was my first thought. But that's the sick, okay? That's not what the people meant. That was the unhealthy part of me, okay? The unhealthier part of me kind of absorbed those compliments as a drug. Like, wow, okay, I really like this. This makes me feel really good. Like that gratification from other people telling me I look good must be true. I must be looking good. So I got to keep that going, right? I don't want to disappoint them. And the more the compliments came in, the more I absorbed it as a drug, and the more I wanted it, and the more I desired it, the less I ate, and the less I took in, and the less I would do in fear that I would gain that weight back. I can't gain that weight back. I finally look good. Okay? Well, unfortunately, that gave way to me getting very, 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 very sick. And I remember getting to a point where I couldn't work. It took everything I had to get out of my recliner in my living room and go walk to the bathroom. I would just sit with a steady stream of tears running down my face. I just felt awful. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to shower. I didn't want anything. So this went on for weeks, and it was one of those situations where the days felt like weeks, and the weeks felt like months, and the months felt like years. I couldn't even really tell you how long this went on for, because I don't know. I was so stuck that it felt like a really long time. So I don't even really know. I just know I was very sick, and I didn't feel right. And then one day, I remember my parents coming out. They were both off, so it had to have been like a Saturday or something. And they came out into the living room. And again, I was basically living in our recliner at this point. And they came out to the living room, and they said to me, "Get up, we're taking you to Walmart. You need to go get a shower." That wasn't a regular occurrence, me showering. I'm like, ugh. All right. So reluctantly, I went and got in the shower, got dressed, got in the car. We went to Walmart. Now, while we're at Walmart, Mom starts buying all these weird things. Like, not anything she would normally buy. She started buying Ensure, like, by the pack. Okay, I think they come in 6 packs. I couldn't even tell you how many she bought. She bought tons of soup, chicken noodle soup, chicken broth, beef broth, whatever she could. Applesauce. Tons of applesauce. And I was a little confused, but I just let it go. I'm like, okay, maybe she's, craving Ensure and applesauce. And now remember, at this point, I'm not anywhere really in a good mind state, because I have so much. I'm malnourished, I'm sleep deprived, I'm depressed, I'm all these things. So I'm not really correlating the 2 and 2. Okay. And this is where it gets harder for me to talk about, so that's why I have it written down. So we get back from Walmart. Okay. And my parents call me into the dining room. And they asked me to sit down and said that we needed to talk. And where they wanted me to sit was a bowl of chicken noodle soup. And I kind of knew what they were trying to do. And so the stubborn part of me looks at them and goes, I'm not going to eat that. My dad told me to sit down, so I did. And he looks at me with tears in his eyes and was very somber. And at this point, I'm crying. My mom's crying. and he asked me the question, why do you want to die? Sorry, guys. I remember telling him, again, with tears in my eyes and very emotional, I don't. That's all I could say. I don't. And he said to me, and if I keep going the way that I was going, that's what was going to happen. Sooner rather than later. So he gave me the choice. At that point, I had two options. Well, that was it. I only had two options. My one option was to stay home and let my parents take care of me and get this thing under control with them. Or I would have to check myself in somewhere. And I was not gonna check myself in somewhere. So I agreed to stay home and do the work and let my parents help me get better. And my sweet mom, who is my rock. I can't even imagine life without my mom or my dad, honestly. Would, for months, I don't even know how long, but it was months, couple months, 3 months, 4 months, I don't know, but it was months. Literally spoon fed me every single meal. And that's embarrassing to say, that at 18, my mom was spoon feeding me like an infant. But that's what she was doing, because that was the only way they would get me to eat, because I couldn't do it. Guys, I could not do it on my own. I could not lift that fork. I could not lift that spoon to feed myself. It was too hard. It was like, if I lifted it, it was a weight and it was heavy and I had to put it down, is almost what it felt like. And I know that that's not really the case, but that's how my mind perceived it. Okay, I couldn't do it. Not on my own. There's no way. So my mom spoon fed me and then monitored me around the clock for months. She sacrificed a lot to take care of me, to get me to a healthy point. And my parents saved my life again. Now, that's twice that they've saved my life so far in my life. There's more, but that's twice. Guys, this isn't me saying that I'm better. Because I struggle every day. I'm 30. And this is still a struggle for me. Real, true, and raw. This is a struggle. Daily. It's like I have to have a talk with myself every morning. Sorry. When I get up, my first thing I do is I get my son up and I get his diaper changed and get him ready for the day and get him fed. Okay, and then I make a cup of coffee. And then that suppresses my appetite. It does. And then by noon, I'm getting hungry and I'm thinking, okay, all right. This is the legitimate battle I have in my head. I sit there and I think, okay, I'm hungry. Am I gonna eat? Nah, I don't need to eat. I'm good. It'll go away. No. You should eat. Just a little something. Granola bar or an apple or something. Just a little something. Oh, okay. All right, fine. And I eat a granola bar. And then it's 2 hours of mental damage. I cannot believe you ate that. Why did you eat that? What were you thinking? You couldn't just hold out a little longer? Now you got a whole day of meals ahead of you. Dinner, snacks, all this stuff you could have waited for, and you ate a granola bar. Really? Now what are you going to do? Now you're going to eat dinner? Really? This is what goes on in my head. Now, I don't know if that's the same battle that everyone who battles an eating disorder goes through, but that's what I go through on the regular. Even this day. To this day, this is what I go through. Okay. Eating disorders don't just go away. You can get better. You can definitely get better. Oh my gosh. I'm walking proof of that. But there's still going to be a battle, and you have to get to the point where you're strong enough to battle that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have days that I can't do it, because I do, and I have. And I'm lucky enough to have a wonderful husband who encourages me, who keeps me going, who tells me it's okay to eat that. It's good. Good for you, babe. Have a little more. Encourages me. Tells me it's okay. And sometimes that validation is what we need. Not always, but sometimes. I can remember one time I was really having a rough time. We were going through some stuff, and stress really amplifies my eating disorder, okay? And I battle, after a lot of study and research, which I'll go through, that with you guys tonight, but I don't just battle one. It seems as though I have a compilation of a couple, and that's really interesting to me. I want to I would love to do some more research on that and find out maybe why, but I feel like there's a correlation between them, and I think that people who battle eating disorders might battle more than just the one, but we'll get into that. But anyway, rewinding back to what I was saying before, there was we were going through some stuff, and I was really struggling. I was struggling with my weight, with my image, I had a lot of friends that were dropping weight like crazy, and I was just stuck. I had just had our son. I had baby weight still. I lost a lot of weight when my husband and I first got together, and I gained it all back when I got pregnant, and I didn't lose. I had a hard time losing it after I had our son, and that's really hard for somebody who has an eating disorder or being pregnant and gaining weight. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk about the struggle there was behind that. That was rough. Seeing that I couldn't even look at the scale. I got to the point towards the end of my pregnancy where I would tell the nurses who took my weight at my OB visits not to tell me what the number was, because it was easier for me not to know. I'm not allowed to have a scale in my house. Nope, not allowed, because I had a therapist several years ago who told me that it would not be a good idea because I would get more obsessed over the number and the not eating. Makes sense. To me, it makes sense. So I don't have a scale in my house. I don't know how much I weigh. I can't know. But going back to, sorry, I keep getting off topic. Going back to that night, I remember I had put our son to bed. I had just cooked dinner. I brought my husband his food. He was doing some stuff, and I fixed his plate, brought him his food, and I sat down. And he said, well, where's yours? And I said, oh, I'm not hungry. He knows me better than that. And he looked at me and he said, well, why not? I haven't seen you eat today. And I was off, and he was off. So we were home all day together. I said, I don't know, I just haven't really had an appetite today. And he looked at me and he said, honey, it's okay. Go ahead. Make yourself a plate and eat dinner with me. And in that moment, that was the validation that I needed. So I did. I fixed a plate and I ate with him. Ate it all. I was actually a lot hungrier than I thought I was. But my point to that is, it's a daily struggle, and some days are harder than others. And that's how it's going to be. For the rest of my life, it's going to be a struggle. But my goal is to never go back to my lowest point. That's my goal. I don't ever want to get back to that. So another thing that goes along or can go along with an eating disorder, something called body dysmorphic disorder. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. I've done a lot of research on it myself. And basically, it's where you literally have a distorted image of the way that you actually look. Okay, so I don't feel like I look how everyone perceives me to look. When I look in the mirror, I see a 240-pound girl staring back at me. That's all I see. Now, it's not every day that I see that, but it's probably, I would say, 85 to 90% of the time. This is the image of myself that I see. And that is body dysmorphic disorder. That is a distorted image that you have of yourself. And that is hard, because when you are being told, wow, you've really lost weight. You look amazing. Oh my gosh, you look so good. What are you doing? Your skin is clear. This, and this, and this. Whatever compliment it is that someone's giving you about the way you look, you let it go in one ear and right out the other, because that's not how you see yourself. So I've lost some weight since I married my husband a year ago. And just from healthy eating, my job is very physical. So that's how I've lost the weight. And a lot of people have told me, you've lost a lot of weight. You look so good. What are you doing? Like all this stuff. And I know what I'm doing. I'm dieting. I'm trying to not eat junk food all the time. That's really it. Portion control, et cetera, et cetera. I don't see it, guys. I'm just going to be real with you. I don't see what other people see. I see that young, scared, 240-pound girl staring back at me in the mirror, and I beat myself up. I beat myself up over everything. My double chin that I feel like I have, my flabby stomach, my big thighs, my cellulite. Okay, come on. We all have it, all right? 90% of us have cellulite. It's a thing. I beat myself up over my cheeks. I feel like my cheeks are chunky when I smile, so I don't like to smile, which is why I don't smile in a lot of my pictures. These are the things I critique. My arms are flabby. I don't like that. I hate that my arms are flabby. These are all the things that I critique about myself. And this happens probably almost every time I get out of the shower. I'll stand in front of the mirror for a solid 10 minutes critiquing everything and telling myself everything I hate about myself, instead of doing what I should be doing, which is standing in front of the mirror and telling myself everything I love about myself. Why is that so hard? Why is it so hard for us to stand in front of the mirror and talk about all the things that we love about ourselves, but it's easy to talk about all the things we hate about ourselves? Did anybody notice that? Or is that just me? I would love for somebody to reach out if they have an answer for me, because that is the one thing that I've been struggling with. Why is it easier for me to sit there and say, I hate X, Y, and Z about myself, but I cannot say I love X, Y, and Z about myself? Reach out. Please help me, because I don't understand why. I don't understand that. I don't. So that's body dysmorphic disorder. It's really interesting. Anybody who wants to look it up, I would encourage it. Now, I want to talk about the different types of eating disorders. I know there's two that people are really familiar with, which are the two main ones that people think of, which is anorexia and bulimia. Now, I have to give all credit to this website, healthline.com. This is where I got all this information, healthline.com. Okay, if you want to study more about this topic, which I would encourage people to do, and I encourage that because when we get to the end of this, we're going to have statistics that we're going to go over. Healthline.com. That's where I got this information. Okay. So the first one that we're going to discuss is anorexia nervosa, and this is the one that I kind of lean more towards. The symptoms are being considerably underweight compared with people of similar age and height. Now, let me say something about that. I've known people in my lifetime who have also battled anorexia and are not scary thin. So just because somebody has an eating, if someone confides in you and says, I have an eating disorder, I'm anorexic, but they're not itty bitty skin and bones, the last thing you want to do is do what someone did to me, look me up and down and go, there's no way you have an eating disorder. Okay, don't do that. That's a no-no, okay? That just messes with their mind even more. Just because someone's not scary thin, skin and bones, does not mean they're struggling. Okay, I just want to clear the air on that. Going back to this, very restricted eating patterns. So that means they don't eat hardly anything, if ever, okay? They might, I've known people with this who have eaten like a carrot stick and been done for the day. I used to eat 2 crackers and be done for the day. So when we talk restricted, I mean, that's extreme restricted. But there's several different restrictions that people with this particular eating disorder will put on themselves. An intense fear of gaining weight or persistent behaviors to avoid gaining weight. I have an intense fear of gaining weight. Intense. I do not want to gain weight. When I gain weight, I panic. Like, straight panic attack. Okay? It is terrifying, the thought of gaining weight, which is really unhealthy. But that's what it is. It's there, it's real. Here I am. Okay? A heavy influence of body weight or perceived body shape on self-esteem, and a distorted body image, including denial of being seriously underweight. So basically the summary of that is people with anorexia nervosa may limit their food intake or compensate for it through various purging behaviors. They may have an intense fear of gaining weight even when severely underweight. The next one that we're going to go over is bulimia nervosa. Now, I've never battled bulimia. I have a fear of throwing up. So that's not something, again, that's a legitimate fear. I know multiple people who have a legit fear of throwing up. So this is not one that I have personally tried, but I have had friends that have been bulimic. That's a really hard disorder to get past. Very hard, okay? The symptoms of that are recurrent episodes of binge eating with a feeling of lack of control. Recurrent episodes of inappropriate purging behaviors to prevent weight gain. If anybody doesn't know what bulimia is out there, it's where you gorge yourself on food, typically very unhealthy food, very large amounts at one time, and then you go in the bathroom and get rid of it. A self-esteem overly influenced by body shape and weight, which again goes with, anorexia, same thing. And a fear of gaining weight despite having a normal weight. So you could have a normal weight, whatever that may be. Again, I don't know, because I feel like society's idea of a normal weight is, so I'm 5'5". Let's just take this an example. I'm 5'5". I think the last time I weighed, I was between 155 and 160. According to out there, society standards, I should only be between 125 and 130. Anyone who knows me knows that would be ridiculously thin. Okay, just let's clear that up now. People with bulimia nervosa eat large amounts of food in short periods of time, then purge. They fear gaining despite being a normal weight. Okay, so we've gone over that. Now, one that is not ever talked about, or is talked about, but isn't really talked about as an actual eating disorder, is binge eating. Okay. Anybody watch My 600 Pound Life? I'm obsessed with that show. And I'm obsessed with it because I want to see people succeed. I only want the best for people. Only. Sorry, my nose itches. I don't know why. I only want the best for people. I want to see people succeed, and I want people who struggle with weight to succeed in a healthy way. So I'm obsessed with that show. It's on TLC if anybody wants to watch it. But anyway, so binge eating disorder is a lot of what you would see on that show. But a lot of people struggle with it. And it's actually the most common, let me say that again, the most common eating disorder in the US is the binge eating disorder. The most common. Think about that. So the symptoms of that are eating large amounts of food rapidly in secret and until uncomfortably full, despite not feeling hungry. Feeling a lack of control during episodes of binge eating, feelings of distress or guilt when thinking about the binge eating behavior, and no use of purging behaviors such as calorie restrictions, vomiting, excessive exercise, or laxative or diuretic use to compensate for binging. Those are things that are used in eating disorders. People will use laxatives like they're candy and diuretics like they're going out of style. They help you lose weight, or they help you to not gain weight. People with binge eating disorders regularly and uncontrollably consume large amounts of food in short periods of time. Unlike people with other eating disorders, they do not purge. So it ain't going anywhere. Then another common eating disorder is called pica. And that is the eating things that are not considered food, such as laundry soap, sand, cotton balls, etc. So things that are not food, that you would not think to eat. Individuals with pica tend to crave and eat non-food substances. This disorder may particularly affect children, pregnant women, and individuals with mental disabilities. Now, I can say from experience that when I was pregnant with my son, I craved tires, like the rubber from tires. Never ate it, but I craved it. Like the smell of it, I could not get enough of the smell. Never ate it again, I promise. But I definitely could understand why this disorder would affect pregnant women, because our hormones and everything are going all crazy, and some women can't control. It's harder for some women to control that need and that urge, and so they'll eat it. Then there's rumination disorder. That is a condition where a person regurgitates food they have already eaten or previously chewed and swallowed. They'll regurgitate it, re-chew it, and they will either re-swallow it or they'll spit it out. So that's another eating disorder. And that can affect people of all life stages. All these eating disorders aren't just for teenage girls who are struggling. Eating disorders affect adults, men, women, children. They affect everybody. So nobody is off the hook for this. Like, anybody can have an eating disorder. I don't hope that for anyone. Let's just say that. I do not hope that for anyone to go through this. It's not an easy thing to go through. And then the last one is avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. I battle with this one as well. So this one is avoidance or restriction of food intake that prevents the person from eating sufficient calories and nutrients. I can honestly say that 9 times out of 10, I do not get the calories or the nutrients that my body requires. Eating habits that interfere with normal social functions, such as eating with others. I hate going out to eat. I'll do it. I'll go. I can usually get through it, but it's hard for me, and I'll decline invitations to go out to eat with friends a lot because I'm not comfortable eating in front of people. It's a hard thing. It took me a long time to get comfortable eating in front of my husband, if that tells you anything. Now I have no issue with it. obviously. We've been together almost 4 years, so I don't have an issue with it now. But when we were first together, really hard for me to do that. Weight loss or poor development for age or height, obviously, because you're not getting your nutrients that you need. Nutrient deficiencies or dependence on supplements, or in really bad cases, you will end up needing to be tube fed. Summary of avoidant restrictive food intake disorder is an eating disorder that causes people to undereat. This is either due to lack of interest in food or an intense distaste for how certain foods look, smell, or taste. How do you get past that? How? That would be hard. And my heart goes out to anyone who battles that. Now, I read some statistics, and the statistics got me. And I don't even know if these are accurate today. But the statistics that I read is, one, at least 30 million people of all ages, 30 million ages, all genders, suffer from an eating disorder. And because it's such a taboo subject, nobody wants to talk about it because it's a mental illness. But we all know how taboo mental illness is. You will never probably know unless you see the signs or unless you know how to see the signs. Okay? My husband has a wife who battles an eating disorder. My brother has a sister who battles an eating disorder. Think about that. Who do you know probably battles an eating disorder? Okay? And doesn't want to talk about it. Think about that. Every 62 minutes, so that's every hour, basically, one person dies as a direct result of an eating disorder. Every hour. And eating disorders have the highest mortality rate of any mental illness. The highest. There's a lot of complications that come from the eating disorders. Stroke, heart attack, several others. Stroke and heart attack are really the main ones. Severe obesity from binge eating can have a lot of, high cholesterol, high blood pressure. There's so many things, so many reasons and stuff. Guys, I'm gonna close this out. Okay. I battle an eating disorder. Here I am. Okay. I struggle every day. And the thing that gets me through is the fact that I have a supportive husband, a beautiful son, 2 beautiful bonus kids, friends who love me, parents who love me. It doesn't mean I don't struggle. And it doesn't mean that some days aren't harder than others. There's a hotline. I'm going to look it up while I'm on here with you guys. There is a hotline that you can call if you're struggling or you know someone who is. And I would very much encourage you guys to take this down. Let me see if I can pull it up. Sorry, guys. I should have had this ready. I just thought of it, though. So there's a hotline for everything. There's a crisis hotline that you can call. There's, there's a phone number you can call if you know someone who's battling an eating disorder. If you're battling an eating disorder, if I can't get this to come up, then you can Google it. Let me see if I can get it to come up. But guys, this is not, this is not a topic that's talked about. And a lot of people who have an eating disorder are in denial about it. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. A lot, but like I said, a lot of people who battle an eating disorder are in denial, okay? And the reason they're in denial is because they don't see anything wrong with what they're doing. All they know is that they're losing the weight or they're keeping the weight off. That's what they know that they're doing. So they don't see an issue. They don't see a problem. And I can say that because I know this from experience, that we're in denial when it's really deep in there. What's the problem? I'm getting the results I want. So what's the problem? You're damaging your body. You're damaging your spirit. I can guarantee you're pushing people away. So you're losing relationships. There's so many things that are wrong with that. But that doesn't mean that you're not okay and that you're not gonna be okay. I mean, look at me. My lowest point, I had a choice. I almost had to check in somewhere. My lowest point. And look where I'm at now. I have a wonderful husband, 3 beautiful children. I'm okay. I struggle. And it's hard. But I'm okay. You'll be okay too. I know you will. Whoever you are that's watching this, that's battling and that's struggling, you will be okay. And my heart pours out to you. Please know you are loved. You are cared for. And the most important thing is you are important to the people in your life, to the ones who love you. And there are lots of people who love you. So if you can't do it for you, do it for them. But it's important to get better. It's important to get help. And it's okay to say, I'm not okay. That doesn't make you any less of a person. That doesn't make you any less of a wife, of a mother, of a sister, of a daughter, of a brother. Doesn't make you less of a son, of a father. Doesn't make you less of a person at all. We all need help at some point. We all do. That's what we're all here for, is to help each other, to be there for each other, to love on each other. That is why we're here. And if I can help, if you need a shoulder to cry on or someone to talk to, I'm here. Okay? You can reach out to me on my Facebook, Shaleign Mamageddon Meekie, or my Instagram, Shay_Meekie. It's gonna be okay. Sorry guys. Looks like there's a 24-hour number. It's called Alsana, I believe it's how you pronounce it. You can call them. This is one that I know of. I know that there's help centers in most people's areas. I know there's a help center here in St. Louis where I'm from, and I know a lot of the major cities have them. But here's a phone number for you: 855-915-0213. Google it. Okay, seriously, if you or someone you know feels like they need help, or you know that someone needs help, or whatever the case may be, let's help them, guys. Let's work together. Let's work together to get well, because there's nothing better than being well, feeling good, and living your life the way it's meant to be lived. All right, guys, I've taken enough of your time, but I really want to say thank you to everyone who listened to this video, who watched this video, who was there, who is feeling something, who is opening their heart to hearing my story. And I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to my story and to be a part of my story. I'll post again. I'm not sure when. It could be tomorrow or it could be next week. I'm not sure yet. But each one of these topics is going to be sensitive and a little taboo probably. But it's good. It's good things to talk about and get out and know that we're all here and we're all in this together and we've all been through similar things. Anyway, thank you guys so much again for listening. I love you all and I really appreciate your support in all of this, and I can't wait to share my next video with you guys. See ya.